Hi, it's Lee from ColouringQueen.net, and today I thought we'd have a colouring chat for my Bunnies in April colour along. So I hope you're all doing really well today. Do you know, funnily enough, I thought of the Bunnies in April colouring tag for this month because I love bunnies and my birthday is on Sunday, so I thought, what better way to celebrate your birthday than celebrating with bunnies? But do you think that I could find a picture of a bunny that I wanted to colour? I think it's because I have so many. I was really overwhelmed with what bunny to colour. I actually started colouring the one from Joanna's new book, Worlds Within Worlds, but I wasn't happy with where it went, and the bunny was really quite small. It's the one on the hot air balloon. And then I started colouring another one, and I wasn't happy with that either. So I put it aside, and then I thought, do you know what? I'm going to crack open my kids' book here that's on my list of 10 books to finish, and I'm going to colour the bunny in that one. And I decided that I was going to use some products that I don't normally use because, first of all, these bunnies are huge, and second of all, I haven't got the most out of my pan pastels, so I thought I'd use my pan pastels to colour in these giant areas here, and then I'll add some pencil or marker over it, and once I finish. And the good thing is I can be really sloppy with this and I can just erase any areas where I've got pan pastel over the lines. Now, I'll put the link below to this book. It's in one of my 10 books to finish, and I've done quite a few pages from this book, so I feel like it's one that I can actually get done because there's not that many pages in the book. So it'll be good to get this one out of the way. So I'm going to use some markers today, and I think I'm going to give my Sharpies and my Bic markers an outing. They don't often get a bit of an outing with me, so I'm going to use those and see how we go, and see how I go with this pan pastel. I didn't realise that these little details were so small, so I can see a lot of erasing in my future. But never mind, at least it covers a big area really, really quickly, so I'm grateful for that because otherwise that's just too much. So, it has been raining non-stop for the last week here. Some days it's more rain than others, but the whole house and the backyard, it's just like a giant mud puddle. There is just so much water everywhere. My flowers are all in water. The path to the laundry downstairs is just flooded with water. And because I use the clothesline to dry my clothes, I haven't washed for a week, so today the sun is out and I'm trying to get a week's worth of washing done and hung out and dried, so wish me luck on that. It's all starting to smell because every time we go out in the wet, we get wet, and then the clothes are wet, and then they sit in the basket getting wet, so I'm going to have to freshen them up, and hopefully the sun will do its work and make them smell nice again. But we have got hardly any towels left, and just everything is just wet. So for my birthday we're not really going to do anything. David did have all these plans of all these things that we were going to do, but unfortunately they all involve a lot of walking around and doing stuff, and at the moment I'm not able to do that because, as well as these stupid allergies that I've got and the infections that just won't go away, and apparently it's going to be a few more weeks according to the doctor on that one. The other day I did two stupid things. I fell out of bed and landed, on my back and on my butt, and it was a bit sore and sorry, but I don't know how I did it, to be honest. I think I got tangled in the sheets and I was untangling myself, and then I don't know, I ended up on the floor because I do, you know, I feel sorry for anyone that shares a bed with me because I kind of sleep like Sheldon from The Big Bang Theory. I sleep like, I'm a piece of clothing in a washing machine. I'm tossing around, I'm kicking blankets off, I'm putting them back on, you know, I'm a nightmare. So I think I got myself tangled up at some stage and fell out of bed. And then the other stupid thing I did was that there was a little bit of a break in the rain one day, just enough, I thought, to nip up to the shops and get some food and whatnot. So I nipped up to the shops and got some groceries and was coming back to the car park, and I don't know, all the rain, or I don't know. It was the same day I fell out of bed, so who knows. But anyway, I took a pretty bad tumble and ended up on the gravel and got all stones down my leg, and yeah, I looked down and there was just all this blood coming from my knee and from my big toe, and I'm not too good on the sight of blood, especially my own. And luckily there were staff in the car park and they helped me, but I'm on the ground in the car park, and of course it started to rain on me with my groceries, and blood's coming down my leg, and oh, it was just a nightmare. And I don't know, but I think I got a bit of shock, and I got a little bit fearful about walking around outside, and especially with it being so wet and being still a construction zone. We've got scaffold up and we've got all sorts of construction materials around here, and it's really a pain in the neck to walk around, especially if you're not feeling too good. But where I fell on the ground, I got all gravel in my knee, and I've got a birthmark on my knee, but you can't even see that because I've lost all the skin, and I think I'm going to lose my big toenail because it's kind of loose. So, yeah, and so I've, seen the chemist about it. Don't worry, I hate doctors, but I am going to the doctor, and the chemist said that she might take my toenail off and fix it up. But so far, between the allergies and the fall, I spend half the morning putting creams on different areas of my body. It's weird. It seems like everything is all happening at once. I've got a little bit of a cold as well. You might hear that. It's only natural, I guess, with all this rain and wet weather, and I have to spend half my life trying to entice Buddy back inside because he gets so excited about going out to play, and then it's really hard to get him back in again. And when he plays, because all the ground is so wet, he's sliding around, and I'm worried that he's going to break a leg or something because he races around. He's been racing in all my flower beds, which I'm not happy about because he's broken quite a few, but he's so gorgeous that he just wins you over with those little soulful eyes. And if you want to see more of Buddy and of Millie, you can see them on Instagram at Puds, PUDS.diary. That's where he posts his photos every day. The reason it's called Puds is because that's what his owners had as a nickname. And the reason that Buddy has his own Insta and Millie doesn't is because that we did promise when we adopted him, we promised his previous owners that we would make sure that they could keep up with his life and make sure that he was well looked after. So we agreed that, I would give him an Instagram, and I've made it as a diary so he posts every day so that they know that, they've made the right call and he's with a loving family that loves him to bits and pieces and really looks after him. So that's the way it's set up like that, and that's why Millie doesn't have her own. But if you do go on there, you'll see that Millie is on there nearly as much as him lately because they are just such good friends now. They just both love each other, and they look for each other, and they sleep near each other, and They're so cute, it's just unbelievable. In fact, I think Millie has dumped me because normally she would sit here and watch me colour, but she's with Buddy on the couch and they're both, you know, sitting down having a bit of a nap and they don't need Mum anymore. They've got each other. So I think all the effort that we put in so that it would be a gradual get to know each other and that, you know, she would accept him and vice versa. I think that all worked out really well because they do really love each other. And the other day he was sitting there using her as a pillow and she was letting him, which is just amazing. So it's really, really cute to see. But I can hear her tinkling in the background with her little bell, so she might come and visit us, you never know. So I thought I'd give the markers a little bit of a going out today because I haven't used my markers for so long. I don't want them to dry up. So I thought, may as well give them a whirl. I don't think I'll buy any more Sharpies or Bic markers after these ones dry up. I think I'll just buy the Copic refills. I'd still like to complete my set of Copics that I've got. I've got hundreds to go yet, but I'd rather just concentrate on having less things. I'm actually finding at the moment my art supply is a little bit overwhelming because there's a lot of pencils, etc., that I don't use. And I really, you know, my favourite pencils are my Prismacolors, and they always will be. And so I really think I'd just rather pare down and not have as many things to choose from. But I do want to keep some things because I use it when I test mediums, etc., in colouring books for you guys. So I'm sort of torn between getting rid of things and also keeping enough to still have things to test out. So I don't know. But things like these Sharpies, etc., I'd much rather something that's refillable. And I'd rather have less colours, to be honest, and have things that are refillable. I hate running out midway or getting that dry feeling and you've got to whack some alcohol on it to revitalise it a bit. I'd much rather just something refillable and less products and less brands, but that's just me. I'd love to know what you guys think, if you decided to pare back on your buying or if you've decided to buy more. We're all at different stages and we all, you know, have different budgets and different things. And I think some of it too is budget. Like, it's coming up now nearly 3 years since I've had an actual well-paid job. So it's getting really, really tough to afford things. So I'd much rather have, less than buy all these things that I can't get open stock pencils for or can't easily get replacements. So that's my thoughts, just because, you know, budget wise, I think it would be better for me in the long run. And I apologise for the nasalness of my voice. This wet weather is really playing up with sinus and getting colds and whatnot, so I hope you're not bothered by my rough voice today. And I realised when I was colouring this that I don't really have that many variations of colours that I would like. So again, I think it's another reason to do more with the Copics and just have some refills on hand for things that I really use a lot. I noticed with the Copics when I was using my markers a lot that it was really the skin tones that I went through quite a bit, and I think I might just use my pan pastels for big areas of skin now because they go so far, you only need a little bit of powder. My pan pastel tray, unfortunately, when we were moving the office around, it got tipped upside down and now I've got little bits of powder everywhere. That stuff is a nightmare to sweep up, but luckily I've got one of those little USB vacuum cleaners that will vacuum that dust up, but it's kind of a waste when it all tips out like that, so hopefully I can find a purpose to use all the little scraps of pan pastel hanging around on. And I want to get the tray all nice and clean because some of the powder has gone in different pans and I don't want it to taint the colour on there. I think I'll probably use those more because I've got enough there to make a light skin tone. One day I'll get enough to make a darker skin tone, but I still need to learn how to do that. I want to try it, but then I always chicken out because I really don't know what to do. Monya Gates has got some fantastic tutorials on a darker skin tone. She's so amazingly talented, so I'll have to go and have a look at hers. So I hope you all had a great Easter. It's a weird year for us here. We're still in masks in Brisbane, and it's funny when you go to the shops and then you realise and you've got to quickly put the mask on before you go in. I know a lot of you in the US, you're far more accustomed to doing that, and in the UK, but in Brisbane and Queensland we haven't really had to do it that much during these times, so this is a bit unusual, trying to remember to put the mask on and trying to you know, make sure that you're not coming in contact with people too much, and it's just very odd. And like the other day when I fell over in the car park, the lady that came over to help me didn't have a mask on because she was sitting sort of undercover outside and she was on her break and eating her lunch or breakfast, I don't know, morning tea, and so she didn't actually have a mask on, and she was with me for like 10 minutes or so before she realised and I realised that she wasn't actually wearing a mask. But before I came out of the shop, I still had my mask on because I hadn't got to my car yet. So, but I just can't remember half the time, and then it's like, quick, where's the mask? Where is it? Better get it on before I go in. I've got that much hand sanitizer, it's unbelievable. Tubes of the stuff and bottles of the stuff, whereas last year, this time of year, I think we were struggling to get any. It was really difficult. I know we ended up getting some because David's work had some, and they gave us a bottle that we used, but it was all sold out everywhere. It's just weird how these times have changed. And so before I smashed my knee, and oh, that's what I was telling you. The reason I can't do all these adventures that David planned is because when I fell down, I sort of fell on my knee and then hit my big toe on the way and then landed on my butt, and then it started raining on me. But the knee that I fell on is actually one that I meant to have knee surgery on. I injured it many years ago in a car accident. And because we live in what's called a high-set house, which means that you go upstairs and that's where your lounge room and kitchen, etc. is, and then downstairs in the olden days, in the 70s when this house was built, was basically a garage and laundry. Nowadays, those sorts of garages, etc., are too small for the cars that are popular and they just wouldn't fit in it. My car being a little hatchback does actually fit in it, but the space where I used to put it is now a bathroom. So in order to, you know, move around, I have to go up and down the stairs all day to where the laundry is, etc. And because I hit this knee really hard and it was already damaged to start with, it's just really difficult for me to walk around at the moment. So just getting up and down the stairs here is like enough for me without going on David's hiking adventure, which normally would be great. And he had all these plans of, you know, boat rides and stopping for coffee and, you know, Devonshire teas on river cruises and hiking through parks and national parks and all the rest of it, but I don't think my knee is going to hold up to it, and yeah, I just don't think it's going to be a pleasant experience. So I said, don't worry, we'll take Buddy down to the beach and have something to eat down there, and just basically go home. I don't know why, but the fall really shook me up, and I really am quite reluctant to be in situations where I think I might fall over at the moment. I know that's weird, and I felt, like a little old lady when I got in the car. I thought, oh my God, I've turned into a little old lady that's fallen over and is now frightened to walk around in case she falls over again. But I'm sure it was just the thump on a already injured part of my body, and seeing blood when I'm really not good at seeing blood, and neither is David. Like, we're both shocking. So yeah, I think it was just that, and nothing sort of too weird, but never know. But anyway, we're not going to do that. And he did think about going to the Peter Rabbit, the second movie, and normally, I would be right on that and want to see it, but I don't want to sit for 2 hours in the cinema and not, be able to stretch out my knee and all the rest of it and have it in bandages. And also, I've still got this allergy, so I don't want to be sitting there trying to stretch and scratching and being one of those totally annoying people at the cinema. So we'll do that another time. And we'll do all the parks and things that he wanted when, his mum comes up for the visit next month, because she loves going to parks and looking at flowers and things like that. So I think it'll be nice for her as well. So we won't miss out. It'll just be postponed. But before I did this, I was doing a lot of plastering downstairs in what used to be a double garage and laundry. We turned into a bathroom, kitchenette sort of laundry, and we're trying to make a big sort of TV room down there. We've got a pinball machine to put in, and all sorts of, carnival type things that we collect. We won't get them all in there, we'll just put one or two things in, because it's not really that big of a space. This is only a very small house. And so before that, David had put all the gyprock, or I think in the US you call it drywall. He'd put that up, and I was doing all the plastering or the setting of it, which I really enjoy. It's like icing a cake as far as I'm concerned. I really like plastering and rendering on bricks and things like that. But now, because of my knee, I can't get up and down the ladder, so I'm going to have to wait. I've only got half the ceiling, or maybe 3/4 of the ceiling done, and all of the walls. But now, because doing the ceiling, you've got to get up and down all the time, I don't think my knee's going to let me, so I'll have to wait a few days. But it's come up all black and blue, and it's all, all pretty horrible. So I hope in a couple of days it'll be back to normal, and all the skin will grow back and it'll look a lot nicer than what it currently does. But we'll see. And I will be going to the doctor about my toenails, so I don't want any emails telling me going to the doctor. I will be going. So this is coming up okay with the Sharpies, I think. It's just a fun little simple picture, and I will go over it, I think, later in some pencil, just to maybe highlight and capture anything that I missed, because when I colour here, it's not in a very comfortable space for me. I'm always quite far away from the page and not as close as I would like to be. But luckily this has got larger elements, and so it's quite easy to see. But when I finish off camera, I'll add a little bit more pencil to it and sort of fill in any bits that I might miss. I've always been hoping that David will fix up my desk situation for me so that I can colour closer to the desk and not be so far away. Because in a lot of my earlier videos I had to colour standing up, which was really uncomfortable because where the light and the camera goes I couldn't get the page any closer. So I hope one day he'll sort of work out a solution that will work, but we're dealing with such a small space here that it always seems quite impossible. And now, you know, with Buddy, he lumbers around and he's got no idea of his size, that dog. He flops everywhere, and he actually stepped on Millie the other day and then he nearly sat on her. But because he's sort of got no idea of space, he's got no spatial proximity, he can't seem to understand where he is and what his size is in the world. So he keeps, when he moves, he will just move the whole camera tripod or anything, and he just won't even notice that it was him that did it. Funny little thing. He's been so happy now that it's finally stopped raining and he can get out. He's met a few new little friends in the park and he's found some kids to play with, and so he's a lot happier and that it's now finally stopped raining and that we've got a bit of sunshine here in beautiful Queensland. So hopefully next time I speak to you I won't be full of cold and full of injuries, and I hope that you guys are having a great day, and until next time, stay safe and happy colouring.